Hey everybody, Ryan McCaffrey with IGN here. I'm joined by Turn 10's creative director, Dan Greenawalt. You've got a little surprise for us here, Dan.
Yeah, this is big news. You know, there are many passionate fans, racing fans, Forza fans, and there's really no track in the world that players are more passionate about than the Nürburgring.
Yeah, this is the ring. This is a, what is it? Did you tell me 16-mile course?
That's right. For the first time in Forza Motorsport, we are including both the Nordschleife and the GP in the more 24-hour variation, the full variation. It's 16 miles long. It's a ton of corners. And, you know, people have seen the Nürburgring in games before, but honestly, it's making its next-gen debut in Forza Motorsport 5.
Yeah, so what... Well, I guess let me ask you honestly, like, what took so long to get the, fans have been wanting this track for a while. I mean, it's great that we finally get it, and it's free, no less. Yeah. So not to complain since it's free, but yeah, this is obviously been a fan request for a while. How come we didn't get this one back at launch?
I don't know. What do they say in True Romance? Dr. Zhivago is a very, very big movie. This is a really, really long track, and we binned everything that we had from previous versions. We went through all of our tracks in Forza Motorsport 4, all the reference, we went through everything, and whatever was not grade A material, we threw it away. And the Nürburgring was getting pretty long in the tooth. We didn't have the GP plus the Nordschleife, and the reference was old, and frankly, it was inaccurate.
Yeah.
So we threw the track away, we threw the reference away, we went back to square one, laser scanned the entire track down to millimeter accuracy. Re-got all the graffiti, I mean, you got the weeds growing up through the tire walls. Really took our best efforts to make this the most complete version of the Nürburgring ever captured, and then tried to make it the most complete version ever built. So I think, again, players have seen the Nürburgring before, but probably never seen it like this. One, at this level of accuracy, but two, it's next gen. It's got the light, it's got the atmosphere, the imperfections, the materials on the ground. So the reason it took so long is that it took us about a year to build. And
that's
we had
a long time.
13,000 man hours going into it with 30 artists working on this
compared to what's usual for one of your other tracks.
It was, well, so interestingly enough, tracks kind of scale in size. So if you look at the next biggest track in our game is Le Mans.
Yeah.
And Le Mans is about half the size of this track. Now, building a track is not entirely linear on the scaling, but the size of the track is, and the complexity is. So this track is twice as hard to build as Le Mans, which is about twice as hard to build as Spa, which is about twice as hard to build as, let's say, Laguna Seca.
Yeah. So here we're starting to get out into the wilderness portion of the ring here. What's your favorite part of this track? I mean, this is a legendary, very difficult track. What's your favorite part of it?
Well, I think you got to start with what the track's known for. We were looking up some quotes for this track, and I just loved what we found, like Jackie Stewart talking about, "He who says he loves the ring is lying." And there's another quote from a driver who said, "It's hard to drive and easy to die." And I think that's part of the mystique. It's part of the legend that is the Nürburgring. It's called the Green Hell, right? Famous quote from Jackie Stewart. And it's because the trees are so close, the barriers are so close, and the track is incredibly narrow.
Yeah.
And as you're going in and out of these trees, you're actually getting into cold parts of the track. Your friction is always changing. As you go through the carousel, you're onto different types of tarmac. This is really more like a road rally. Most people don't have the mental capabilities to memorize this track even after 100 laps. So what they're usually doing is just flying by the seat of their pants. And to do that on such a narrow track is a hell of a rush and makes it completely atypical of the types of tracks you find in Forza Motorsport 5. This just isn't like any of the other tracks we have.
So this will, just like other free tracks you guys have done, such as Long Beach, this is going to be a free download that integrates straight into the career mode, yeah?
Yeah, you know, this track's great. It's great for people to drive. It's different than other tracks, which means even integrating into the career mode was a bit of a problem, because you can't just go sort of lightly to the Nürburgring for a race.
True.
You have to be kind of mentally prepared for it. So even where we put it in the career had to be very carefully considered. But yes, it's fully integrated to career. It's going to be in the rivals mode, in hoppers. It's going to be throughout the game, and it's free so that everybody gets it. I mean, honestly, we've got so many more people playing Forza Motorsport 5, so many new types of players that are not into racing games. And the thing we were hearing again and again is people wanted more tracks. So we're building more tracks. We're giving it to people for free. And it's because it's going towards that vision. All these new people are getting into cars. They're getting into racing. They're getting into games. And so whatever it takes to get that community to stay engaged, to stay excited about cars and racing, that's the vision of Forza Motorsport.
So we're seeing some of the you know, the portions of the track with the graffiti. Was there anything obscene that needed to be edited out for the video game release of this track?
Absolutely. So the Nürburgring is actually very famous for some things that are not work safe, let's say. And the thing about the graffiti on the ring is it comes and it goes. Things can get washed off, the tires rub it off and the like. So we captured all of that graffiti, but we did scrub out some of the male members that were drawn around the track. Because also part of the vision is we want to bring people together. And that includes like my kids. I've got kids that play Forza Motorsport. I want it to be an E-rated game. I want to bring everyone together.
You're saying wieners don't bring people together.
Let's just say it's not exactly a broadening play.
Yeah, I hear you. What else can we talk about? Because we've got a good 3 minutes or so left before we have a good lap on this track because it's long.
You can see right now even the light coming in.
Yep, definitely.
We very carefully chose the time of day for this track. So it's a hard track. It's a hard track no matter what time of day it is. Going into a very cold time of day, a night, maybe an overcast, something like that, would make the track even harder because the surface would be very, very cold. It would be hard to keep heat in your tires. But at the same time, we love the sense of speed that comes on this track when the trees are casting shadows over the top of it.
Yeah.
And really creating that light, dark effect. But also the sun in Forza Motorsport 5 is really a highlight of the game in that we believe this generation is about light and atmosphere. And we think sun is part of the gameplay, that sun should at times blind you and then go dark. It really shows off the high dynamic range because that's part of racing. You're dealing with sun as much as you're dealing with other cars when you're racing on a track. So I love this time of day. It gives a sense of speed great. You can see as he's going in and out of sunlight, you're also getting the reflection of the dashboard through the glass. You know, it really looks stunning, and I hope gets these new players that aren't playing racing games just immersed in what next gen could possibly mean.
As we take yet another corner here.
There are a lot of corners, but that's exactly when you're in the zone and you really want to just do laps. That's what makes the Nurburgring so unique. If you're looking for just a quick sprint race, then Long Beach is fantastic. In fact, when I look at this track and Long Beach next to each other, you really couldn't have greater diversity. So Long Beach is so technical, it is so hard, but it looks really hot. It's got this very cool Southern California feel. You've got the, these palm trees going by on the side. But it's all right angles. It's highly geometrical, and the Nürburgring it's all about flow. I mean, you can almost feel yourself like you got to sit into that seat. You got to feel the track. It's like pod racer.
Do we have a release date for this track yet?
Yes, this track will be released on June 9th. Straight to the people.
Which I think is when this video is going up. So
that is
go get it.
Exactly, and that's what's great about content updates, right? This isn't something you go download or you go do something about. Just turn on your Xbox One, boot up Forza Motorsport 5, and it's there. So it's going to be downloading in the background. If you haven't booted up in a while, you may have to download it, but once it's there, it's just in your game, it's in your world. Jump online, have a great time.
So particularly now that the price of, we've got a lower price option, the connectless option of Xbox One, you're no doubt going to have a lot of new Forza players coming in. If someone downloads the game from the Xbox Store digitally, is the Ring and all the other tracks you've added just right there from in the digital file you download?
It's a great question. I think it's a misunderstood aspect of the Xbox One and actually what this generation is about. In many ways, we're no longer making a disc copy of the game that we then upload for you to download as a digital copy. We're actually making only one copy of the game, the digital copy. And every few months or so, we release new discs that are copies of it. So it's a digital world. So what that means is, to answer your question more succinctly, yes, there's only one copy of the game online. So if you buy the game digitally on June 9th, it simply includes the Nürburgring from day one, no updates required, nothing to add on.
Excellent. Well, as we said, this is a free track. Go get it now. And Dan, thanks very much for not only talking us through this, but delivering this track, which we've been wanting for a long time.
Thank you, Ryan.
For more on all things Forza, you're already in the right place right here at IGN.